Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into something pretty wild. Prediction markets. Places where you can bet on, well, almost anything.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Like, will this bill pass Congress? What will the Fed do with interest rates? Even Taylor Swift album releases. The range is insane.
It really is. So, our mission today is to unpack one specific platform, Kalshi. They apparently control something like 60% of this whole global market.
Exactly. And the core thing we need to explore for you is this tension, this conflict between Kalshi being, fully legal and regulated, and then the messy reality of actually using it.
Okay, let's start with that regulation piece because that's pretty surprising. Kalshi got CFTC approval.
Yeah, back in 2020, they're a designated contract market. The CFTC, that's the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the main federal regulator here.
Right. So that approval really sets them apart. It means they're not operating in those usual legal gray zones, first fully legal platform of its kind in the U.S.
And what's really interesting is how fast they grew off that legal footing.
Right.
They hit a $5 billion valuation last October, raised $300 million,
Wow.
and expanded to over 140 countries. They definitely look legitimate.
And on the surface, the features look good too. Clean interface, they talk about 3.75% interest on cash, no monthly fees, no minimums.
Seems attractive.
Yeah, with the regulation and those perks, you'd think, okay, this could really shake up casual trading.
You would think that.
Mm.
But then you dig into the costs. The fee structure is where it gets confusing.
How so?
Well, the commissions aren't flat. They range from like 0.07% all the way up to 7%. And it depends entirely on the probability of the event happening.
Wait, based on probability? How does that even work? That sounds like it punishes the riskier bets.
That's essentially it.
Yeah.
Kalshi is hedging their risk. So if you bet on something with, say, an 80% chance of happening, your commission is low, maybe 1.4%.
Okay.
But if you take a long shot, like 20% odds, that commission jumps way up, maybe 5.6%. It's like a tax on uncertainty, basically.
Huh. And that's before other fees.
Oh, yeah. There are secondary charges, too, like a quarter-cent maker fee per contract, a 2% fee if you deposit with a debit card, and a flat $2 to withdraw your money.
Oof. Okay, so fees are complicated.
Yeah.
What about actually trading? What's the experience like there?
Well, the biggest complaint you see popping up everywhere, like on Reddit, is liquidity, or rather, the lack of it.
But didn't you say they control 60% of the market? How can liquidity be low?
It's very market-specific. On the really big markets, maybe it's okay. But on the smaller, more niche ones, not enough traders.
Right.
And that leads to what traders call massive slippage.
Slippage, meaning the price you get isn't the price you thought you clicked on.
Exactly. It moves wildly between when you place the order and when it executes. Makes it super hard, sometimes impossible, to get out of a position when you want to.
Okay, that sounds frustrating. And then there's this whole political angle involving Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah, well, it's complicated. He joined Kalshi as a strategic advisor back in January. But then, just a few months later, in August, his venture firm invested in a direct competitor, Polymarket. And he joined their board, too.
Wait, so he's advising two rival companies in the same small market.
It's a pretty direct conflict, raises all sorts of questions about, information flow and governance.
And this ties back to the regulators, too, doesn't it? Because the CFTC is still deciding on whether Kalshi can even offer bets on elections.
Exactly. The CFTC is appealing Kalshi's right to do election contracts. And remember, the president appoints the CFTC commissioners.
So having that kind of advisor involved while that appeal is happening, it certainly makes you think about influence, doesn't it?
It does. It adds another layer of complexity to this whole regulated but messy picture.
So if we zoom out to just the general user experience, what are people saying? Reviews, things like that?
It's pretty chaotic, honestly. If you look at Trustpilot, you see stories about glitches, money getting put into the wrong markets by mistake.
Oh, wow.
Withdrawals taking weeks, customer support just like going silent, boasting users.
Not exactly smooth sailing then.
Not at all.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the bottom line for someone thinking about using Kalshi?
Well, look, it's the Wild West, but it does have that CFTC stamp. That official approval is a big plus compared to, sketchy offshore platforms. You have some regulatory backing.
Right.
But you absolutely have to go in knowing about the operational headaches. The confusing fees pile up fast, and that lack of liquidity on many markets is a serious risk. It's not going to be a smooth, Robinhood-like experience.
So expect bumps.
Definitely expect bumps. Ultimately, maybe it works if you treat it purely as entertainment. like sophisticated gambling on real-world stuff, but understanding there's this weird regulatory layer and operational messiness.
So the final question for you, the listener, to kind of mull over is that promise of gaining knowledge through prediction markets really worth navigating all this complexity and, frankly, controversy?
Yeah, is the insight worth the hassle? That's the real question.
Yeah.